Hey all, Patrick Hart here with Undeterred and
Lisa Hermosillo.
And we're in the same studio for a change. I have to apologize. I'm in the middle of my workday, so I'm still in contractor Patrick here. Lisa, of course, was at the Capitol today. What were you doing?
I was there to, my son was actually selected as one of the students from North Plains Elementary from Minot Air Force Base to go to the Capitol to be part of the proclamation signing of the Month of the Military Child with Governor Armstrong. So he got to meet him, shake his hand, take a picture. It was pretty awesome.
So did you do any Democrating at the Capitol today, or were you just in proud mom moment?
It was a proud mom moment, but I did get to meet Secretary of State Michael Howe and Kelly Armstrong. And I did tell them that I was running for vice chair, and they kind of gave me their, I would say, advice on that. Kelly Armstrong mentioned that he was the chair for the GOP.
Yeah.
And he told me a little bit about his experience. But most of the time, obviously, I was there as a mom. So that was fun to kind of step away from that a little bit too. But I did network, so I took my opportunity.
And you're still taking part of your day to do the Democrat thing, which is popping a podcast real quick, right?
Yeah.
So what's on your mind? What do you think? Politics, local, national? What do you want to talk about?
Man, I mean, where do you begin? Minot. I'm sure everyone's probably heard what's going on in Minot, but I just, for the record, just want to say that I think Mayor Tom Ross made the right decision for resigning. And I think this is a great opportunity for Democrats, or even maybe you're at your district level, to kind of speak out on some of these points. I think a lot of people just see it as something that he did versus where can we actually advocate in a situation like this. That means like advocating against workplace harassment and protecting the victims. And so I think a huge opportunity for us as Dems right now to speak out on it.
So I got two places I want to take that. First of all, for those of you who don't pay attention to Minot local news, what did he do?
Unfortunately, our mayor, now former mayor, sent an explicit sexual in nature video to no other than the city attorney. Yeah. And what makes it just even worse about it is that the timing of it. He just got a phone call about how one of our Minot PD officers committed suicide at the workplace. And he decides to go through what he was doing and sent it. And of course, now we all know, and what he has said was that it was all by accident. But I mean, leader, when you're told something like that, the first thing you should have been doing is, I'm on my way. What do you guys need? What as a mayor, what should I be doing about this right now? And obviously that was not what happened.
Well, the other thing I was going for is I got to go to National Convention this cycle. And National Convention was completely overwhelming with stimulus, with the balloons and the speakers, and oh my gosh, and it all happened. And afterwards on Thursday or Friday night, I went out with Kylie Overson, Carrie Brecker, Cheryl Miller, and Gretchen Dovrovich. Amazing, strong, powerful women.
Absolutely.
And I was sitting at the table, and totally the highlight of my week was hanging out with those guys afterwards. We finally got some real food. And I thought to myself, like, I've been in the party for, 10 years, maybe 10 plus.
Mm-hmm.
I've never messed it up. And I'm
Right.
sitting there with these 4 or 5 amazing women thinking gosh, I've never done anything silly. I've never crossed a line, or you know what I mean? And that isn't the case.
Right.
I think that is almost unheard of.
It is.
I don't know, treat people with respect. It's all someone's mother, someone's daughter, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think what really upset a lot of people too was that they just felt like it was very disingenuous, just how everything played out, avoiding the investigators, avoiding being questioned. And ultimately, as one of the aldermen on city council mentioned, that there was really no actual apology for what happened. And that I think this is just a really good reminder for everyone to just really do your research when we're voting on people. I mean, this is a big deal it made national headlines.
Oh my gosh.
New York Post, New York Times. I think he's on the cover of People's Magazine, or I don't know if it's the cover, but someone had mentioned that story got on there as well.
Incredible.
Not the way North Dakota wants to be put on the map, but
could just treat each other with respect.
Yes.
And I don't know what he sent, but I'm pretty sure I've never sent anything like that to anyone, including my wife. And yeah, I don't know why I took it there.
No, it's okay. But it's the timing of this too, with everything coming out about Holmberg, and like we had mentioned before on one of the podcasts, that there's a lot of people that didn't even know about that. They had no clue what was going on with that. And then now with everything coming out that maybe there was cover-ups, and it's something that people need to pay attention to.
There were cover-ups.
Yes.
There still are cover-ups.
Oh, absolutely.
Where is voicemails?
Yeah.
We can't find them, but we can find one, but definitely not the other two.
Yeah. It just, I love seeing people speak out about it and to demand what we deserve, which are answers, and people willing to see it for what it is and do the right thing.
I'm going to take a weird turn. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm from Pembina, North Dakota, way up on the northeastern border, and a large job in my hometown is either working for a brokerage or working for the government as an import specialist. Now, when a truckload, a semi-load of whatever, shirts, banners, computers comes across the border, they're charged a tariff or a tax. Brokers file that paperwork, and import specialist checks it to make sure that it's good to go and that the tariffs have been paid. This week was tariff day.
Yep.
But there's a word for it, right? It's what's the word he had?
I don't remember what that was actually.
Anyway, he's got a word for it. It's silly sauce. It's absolutely ridiculous.
On this right now.
What I want to bring up on it is that we're charging a tax to import a good. And I get that at some level we should have agreements that are designed to have a free trade. But it seems to me like our tariffs or our tax is being weaponized and used against other countries, mainly our trade allies. And I don't get it, because when I'm buying a hoodie, banner, a laptop, a trailer, a piece of John Deere equipment, or a piece of case equipment that's being brought across the border, I don't want to prepay $100,000 for an air seeder, and then 3 months later, when I have to bring it from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan across the border to America, I have to pay another $25,000, 25% to import that.
Yeah.
Sounds ridiculous. I don't know, $3.1 trillion was lost yesterday in the downturn of the stock market. I think that's insane. I had to Google how much $1 trillion was. It's 1,000 billion or 1,000,000 million. That's a lot of money.
I swear it's like every day we wake up and we're like, what's next? And
Yeah.
I don't like that. I really don't. But I think at the same time, it's really starting to open people's eyes and hopefully, start realizing just how devastating and the direction that we're going. So,
do you want to pay more for stuff?
No,
I don't either.
I don't.
I don't either. And I don't understand what the purpose of it is. If there's an agenda, a place that we want to go, I don't feel like this is bringing us there.
No.
And I just keep the example I use of, I'm going to go back to soybeans, because we did this 4 years ago with the soybean market. It went from $14 a bushel to $7. And my gosh, how that hurts farmers. And now all of a sudden we're doing it again. And what I hate about it, especially as we talk about farm economy, because farm is the number one economy in North Dakota, Trump didn't make that market. The Soybean Growers Association lobbied in China on special envoy trips, and they made that market, and we got those trading partners. It's been good to go for decades. We've been growing our soybean exports, and now all of a sudden there's a tariff on it, and China not taking North Dakota soybeans.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I don't get it. But we'll see where it goes. What do you think? Do you know what he's doing?
Yeah. I mean, well, no one really can actually try and explain with logic what he's doing, but I think it's just a lot of it just seems like retaliatory in a lot of ways. I mean, maybe not so much against ag specifically, but it just feels like obviously he doesn't really know what he's doing. He thinks he's being smart about it, but he's not. And to lose the support of your ag and your farmers, he's gonna feel that effect. And if he hasn't already, and I know there's a number of farmers speaking out saying, "What are you doing to us? Why are you doing this?"
Right.
Do you not understand that they literally are the lifeline of this economy, and he's just wasting it and just I don't know.
Well, and I don't know, but I'll tell you what I feel. I feel like they're burning it down.
Yeah.
And I feel like by tanking the economy on purpose with intention, I think, what are they doing? What's the game? What are we playing here? And I feel like they're purposely downplaying assets, devaluing assets
Mm-hmm.
to come in and to put people in a pinch. They're killing the market. They're killing the asset base. And what's going to happen? Are farmers going to have to sell their land? Are people going to have to sell their homes? I think there's going to be assets on sale for a fraction of what they're worth, and that the cash-rich oligarchies, the billionaires, are going to come in and buy up farmland in Iowa. They're going to buy up farmland in North Dakota. Because I don't know what else their play could be, because we're destroying the economy, we're destroying the trade partners, we're taxing our imports, which then are getting retaliatory tax or tariffs. What are we doing?
I think a lot of it really just kind of comes down to manipulation. I think that constant pull of people's emotions, like he runs on fear. That's what he does, right? And then sometimes I feel like he uses that as an opportunity to turn around and be like, okay, now I'm going to save the day.
Sure.
And he does that time and time and time again. And I bet you money that once we've hit the lowest point, he's going to come back and come up with this great grand idea, right? And try and turn it around like, I was the good guy here, even though I just literally slashed and, like you said, tanked everything. But I don't know. It's frustrating on all fronts.
If I'm going on vacation and I forget to fill gas and we run out of gas,
Mm-hmm.
and then I save the day by walking to get a gas can, I'm not actually saving the day.
Right.
I actually
Right.
just tanked the vacation.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how I know I would see it. I'm pretty sure that's how my wife would see it.
Yeah. Yep.
But well, anyway, I guess session, we got a couple weeks left. Are you following any bills?
I've been following a few. I know I've kind of taken some personal time just with a loss of a friend, so I'm trying to get back into the routine of things. But one of the major ones was obviously the insulin cap one, and that did go through the Senate, which was really encouraging to see. And then the voucher one and the term limits. Don't even get me started on the term limits, but that is another one that I've been keeping track of. And
I've said before, I don't think that the term limits initiated measure was good. I don't
Right.
think 8 years is long enough. 12, maybe 16, I can get that. I also see the other side of the sword, where if you get 16 years in the House and 16 years in the Senate, that's 32 years. Maybe that's too long.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that. However, the people voted for it and they passed it.
Right.
So don't we respect
Right.
the people's voice?
So my take on that too is, if you think about it, think about the amount of energy, time, and money it takes for people like us to come together and say, we want to put forward this measure. And then the legislation or legislators can come around and in an instant change that.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that is what really kind of bothers. Now, I agree with you. I think there's some work that needs to be done on that. But it's just the idea that it doesn't matter what we do and how much we put so much time and work into something just for it to just be flipped so easily. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But obviously, as it stands, it'll be on the ballot next year. So
If you voted for term limits, I want to tell you right now that the Republicans just voted to overturn your voice. The same people you thought should have term limits on them don't want them and are choosing not to abide by what you said.
Yeah.
And I think that is really representative, because as I've paraded my friends and elected Democrats from the House and Senate, all of them have bills that represent their constituency.
Yeah.
And the Republicans are actively pushing to minimize your voice. And that is effing ridiculous.
it is.
We are kind of having like light conversations, maybe, behind the scenes on what people do want to see as initiated measures. Do you have anything that pops to mind that you want to see?
This one is kind of interesting because I think I've talked with Katrina about this a few times, and it was removing the party from ballots.
Sure.
And at first I was kind of thinking, I don't know how I feel about that. And then I realized that we have such a problem here in North Dakota about our straight down.
Yeah.
And it doesn't leave enough of people need to feel the responsibility to go out and actually research their candidates, get to know them, and not just because look where we're at right now. We have the supermajority Republican, people voted down the line, and now we're feeling the repercussions of that. And it's like, well, we got to start thinking twice for who we're voting for, and as I always say, to get involved and to pay attention to things and pay attention all year round, not just when elections cycle comes around. Remember what happens during session. Don't lose that momentum.
Is it Nebraska that doesn't have district level House and Senate party representation on the ballot? So in Nebraska, if you're running for District 30, which we're at, you probably hear it every week. It wouldn't say, Diane Larson, Republican, Mike Lathy, Republican. It would just say Diane Larson or Matthew Zimney. And those would be your choices. And when those people still campaign, they can put an R or a D on their yard sign. They can put it in the publications, but on the ballot, it's not there. And I think that does let people just give it a quick Google.
Yeah.
The one I want to see, I really want to see school lunches.
Yeah. Yes.
I think school lunches is a no-brainer. However, like we put $10 on our kids' account on Friday, and on Tuesday it was drawn.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, $10 2 days, like it's a lot. But
It
Bismarck has a la carte. Does mine not have that?
I don't believe so, no.
So an a la carte, you can pick sodas or cookies or pizza or Subways instead of getting the federal hot lunch.
Oh, okay.
So Connor can get 6 cookies, 2 milks, bag of Doritos, and a beef jerky and punch in his code, and it's $27. I'm not saying that should be free.
Right.
But the school lunch, the hot lunch,
Yes.
let's make that free to everyone.
Right.
Because I would not want other taxpayers to pay for my kids' cookies, but everyone should get a hot meal, right?
Right. Well, I know at least, and maybe I should clarify, I know for sure, like on base, we don't have, and maybe in town, it's up that
sure.
they might have that, but I just.
Well, now we're small town. We didn't have a la carte.
I don't think we would.
We had a salad bar with radishes and leaf lettuce and Thousand Island dressing was all. But the salad bar apparently at Pembina is popping now because the teachers like it. The other one I want to see is an injection tax initiated measure. So as we're talking about CO2, and I'm pretty sure that South Dakota shut that off for the whole system. But if we're going to start pumping CO2 underneath our ground, that's going to travel horizontally, we should have a ticker on that. And we should create injection tax initiated measure.
I like that.
I think it makes a lot of sense. We're going to be your dumping ground. If I take product, I have a dump trailer outside that door right there. If I dump that dump trailer in the Bismarck landfill, I pay.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't energy companies have to pay to dump their CO2 here? Makes a ton of sense. And let's make some revenue off it.
Yeah. Yeah. See.
Maybe we could pay for school lunches.
Yeah.
See how that works? Well, anyway, what else do you want to talk about? Hey, did you guys know Lisa's running for vice chair?
I am. Yes.
What do you think of the state of the party? What do you think of such a daunting task as getting to be on this side of the leadership line?
I'm up for the challenge. I know it's going to be challenging, but I'm really energized by this opportunity. I have been more than thrilled and grateful for being able to travel to the reorgs and hearing some of the, the challenges or the struggles that different districts have and what they would like to see come from the state party. And obviously this is a great opportunity for me as well to be a little more vocal about where I am on things. And I think that a lot of people know that I'm more on the moderate side of issues.
Yeah.
And I think that's sometimes what we need right now. I think maybe that's the, I don't know, what word do I want to use? I guess maybe the push that we need right now. And just to get someone that has different ideas, maybe a little bit of a different background, and different type of personality in there. And I think that will be good. And of course, everything that I do it for people. I'm not out to enrich myself. That's just who I am. I'm doing this because I care and I do want to help. And I do believe that we can change things. And so I'm excited to get on board. But that being said, even though I am a candidate for vice chair, I just want to encourage anyone that's listening or watching that if you know someone or if you want to put your name out there and for vice chair or chair, do it. I think options are healthy. I think it's good for us to encourage each other to just push where we feel like people could do well and to use their skills and their talents.
I remember I got out of the oil fields. I used to sandblast and paint oil rigs, which was amazing and horrible all at the same time. And I got out right before oil crashed in 2013. And when oil crashed, I heard this saying about out west, the Bakken, was that competition keeps people honest.
Yeah.
And so on that element, I hope you get challenged.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm really happy right now with the leadership team. I too am running for a second term as state treasurer, state party treasurer. And, I'll get away from finance for a minute. Although you should donate now, click the link below to join the Century Club. I really like the leadership team that Adam Goldwyn, Carrie Brecker, myself, Lisa Finley DeVille have created. I'm excited to welcome anyone into that team. I think that team and the culture driving the Dem-NPL now is open to ideas. It's open to thinking differently about how we've done things. I just had a conversation with Cheryl Biller today about how if we continue to run campaigns, if we continue to organize at the district level the same way we have for the last 20 years, we're going to get the same result that we have for the last 20 years. And we have to be open to ideas.
Yes.
And I'm excited to welcome you or whomever steps into this role into that leadership group, because I do think that it's based on respect. It's based on ideas. I love disagreeing with Cheryl and Cheryl disagreeing with me, because we have both of our different perspectives and ideas on how things should go or how something should happen. But there's respect amongst each other, so that when the conversation gets over, she's still one of my best friends, good coworker. So I like that. And if anyone wants to step into that leadership group, please do. Absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure that I've gotten to serve in my roles that I have. And, it is a time commitment.
Yeah.
We were just talking over lunch about how many miles you put on in the last 6 months going to all the reorgs.
Yeah.
And I didn't go to any. I'm sorry. First time in 5 years I missed the Fargo reorg, but God, I put on over 10,000 miles last year campaigning. So
yeah,
I'm gonna white flag this one.
Okay.
So yeah, besides that, I appreciate you guys watching. Do you have anything else you wanna maybe add or push or?
What do we have next?
So we have, I don't know, this could be in a special episode.
Oh, okay.
We have interviewed, we're going to see episodes drop from Jamie Davis. We have an overtime with her. Had such a good interaction with her. We interviewed Colette Brown last week. That one's in the mix. And we have Lisa Finley DeVille. So wherever this comes up, know that we're taking the time to interview people that are representing their constituency, their district. We're taking the time to make sure that Democrat ideas are heard. And here, I'll tell you one. I'm going to a supper event tonight. There's going to be a couple bottles of wine. a good Democrat friend of mine organized just kind of like a neighbor event. She got 6 or 7 neighbors around. Everyone's going to bring a quick little potluck or whatever, some snacks, and we're just going to talk politics. I've been warned that they're not all Democrats there tonight, but there are people that are concerned about what they're seeing federally and in the state. And the reason I bring that up is because if you guys out there in podcast land want to put together a small event like that, I'm pretty sure that anyone from the state party, Cheryl Biller, Adam, Carey, Lisa, myself, Jamie Selzler, I'm volunteering us to come out to those events, and potentially some of the district elected officials as well. However, let them have some grace and get through session for another month instead. So I guess with that, Lisa, any final words?
No, that was it. That was good.
Appreciate running with you guys today. Thanks.
Thank you.